Welcome one and all to a melee in Mexico. We've got a veganized circuit ready and waiting for you, and I'll explain exactly what that means in a minute. I'm Josh Brooks. Welcome. Thank you very much for joining me. And it's time for the third round of AF1 here in Mexico City. We've got a packed grid. Very loud crowd noises. That's the Mexico City circuit. We've got a 34-lap race coming away. Oh, you can't hear me at all. I am talking. Hello, I am talking. Daniel Wolf crashes, and I've still got the intro graphics on screen. Is this it? Is this better? No, that wouldn't be it. Is this better? How about now? Also, that's quite high, so I'll turn that down. Turn the volume down for the actual stream. Get rid of that. I have to turn that down on my own headset because the crowd sounds are very loud. It's a very, very loud track, this one. All the stadium sections have a lot of crowd noises, possibly from the Indy 500. Yeah, let's take a look at the standings. Coming into this race, it's a 1-point gap between the top two. Max Janssen, after his win in Mont-Tremblant, leads by 1 point over Jens Beitzma. Bulbasaur's in third on 21 points, but we do have the return of the King of France himself, Jacques Olivier, to spice things up. He's got a chase down to find. He's got a chase down. Okay, Nemanja. I guess you don't want to do that hairpin. That's fine. Sure. Oh, man. We've got a packed grid, as I said at the top of the stream. 23 drivers are here ready to take on this track. I think it's going to be really good for overtaking. But everyone's going to be very mindful of track limits. It's quite strict, and there's no sausage curbs to distract, to pull you away from the inside of the corner, so you will die. Or there's nothing stopping you from dying. We're coming to the end of the practice session at the minute. Mike Blast has a 3/10 lead over Betsma. Bonavain's third, then we Guerra in fourth, all within about 4/10. Manipovic, Daniel Wolf, and Peter Quinn, the only other drivers within a second of Mike Blast. They're all in the 1:20. Then it's Rapidi P8, Riley P9, and Olivier P10. Expect some magic from Olivier in the race. The strategy could be better if he's qualifying. And by Mythic with another good showing in P11 alongside his former teammate Matt Labiak. Philson, that is Philip. Not Philip Huber. Philip Bauer. We first saw in AF3 on Friday in a league race. He's now taking his first AF1 race this weekend. He's currently P13 in practice. Jake Feemster, P14, and Vivol's rounding out top 15. Then we have Andrade, Thomas Cameron, Rob Kinnable, who had an excellent run in Mont-Tremblant before the Christmas break. Lucas Weber and Shiny Waffles rounding out the top 20. And Imran Traut, P21, Imran Traut P20, Shiny Waffles P21 if they're all in the server. But they're not exactly. The server will reset after this session is finished, and we'll have to rejoin in for 2 8-minute qualifying sessions. The first one, a Q1, like in Formula 1, top 10, going through to a Q2 shootout, another 8-minute session to decide the top 10 grid slots for a 34-lap race. Race strategy should be fairly simple, unless there's anything more chaotic about this track than the other tracks. The S's maybe, but I wouldn't say it was any less chaotic tyre-wear-wise than at Mont-Tremblant. So it should be a straight one-stop pit halfway through, but you could see, if there is a safety car at an opportune moment, you could see some drivers deciding to pit early, or banking on a late one. That is, I wouldn't necessarily go for that. That really rarely happens, but anything can happen on AF1, and it usually does. And I definitely came up with that phrase, not a certain Murray Walker. So that's the checker flag out for this practice session. Mike Blast has got the top time. We'll have a look at the man progress. Right on board with him for the rest of this lap as he goes through the stadium section. Mostly because in the stadium section, the fans shut up. Because it's so loud. I've got my headset turned right down to be able to not hear, so I don't have to hear them. It's that loud. Only a few drivers left across the line. Pinker Quinn's one of them, and he's gone and died. Labiak's coming into the stadium section now. We've also got Vivos still to finish. And Thomas Cameron and Lucas Weber. He's just finished. Everyone's now going to start leaving the service. This is about to get a bit messy. But apparently, Jack Olivier's best time is a 19.4. Not quite sure how effective it is. True according to that, actually. So maybe this is a little bit incorrect, these timings. So apparently Jack Olivier is on top of the 19.4. So it's going to be a couple of minutes, and then we'll be underway with Q1. Who's your money on for who's going to be the surprise elimination in Q1? Quite possibly Clutch, actually. Yeah. ACTV is weird sometimes. We've had some drivers who have put in so much practice for this race. I think the highest I saw was Rapidi, who's completed 280 laps in preparation for this race. Granted, it has been longer than usual between races. It's been about 3 weeks, I think. We last raced at Mont-Tremblant before Christmas, which was... I need to check my notes. That would be the 19th of December, so it has been 3 weeks since the last race. And next week, we're at the driver's vote, which is the return to Singapore. I'm looking forward to that one. That's going to be a great race. The week after that, we go to Imola and try and break Imola's start curse. Good luck with that. We take a 1 week break after that and come back for a string of 3 races in February at Monza, then Silverstone, and then Suzuka to round out the season. I think I have got 2 questions. One, Mosquito has not told me he needs to do this. I need to do the server. I don't want Netflix open. All admins will be having a training session on Tuesday. Q1 should just be able to be finished, but I'm still waiting for practice to end. And I'll be underway. Or I could just click cancel, delete the session and go straight to qualifying, which is exactly what I'm going to do. Cancel the practice session. Delete it. And Q1 will be underway. Boop-a-doop. Go. Server is online. I'm to do 5 different jobs at once. Just have to ban someone from the server for posting nitro links. But Q1 is underway. And hopefully one person will realise that and spread it around the rest of them so I don't have to switch over. But there we go. So, it's a 9-minute qualifying session, minus 1 minute. So everyone gets in the server and then everyone leaves the pit lane at 8 minutes to go and we'll be underway. My cat's currently sat behind my monitor and every time I whack on the table, she shits herself a little bit. Why is the stream going to be blocked? There's nothing there. There's nothing there. What are you on about? There's nothing there. So qualifying is already underway. The man Shake was waiting here at the end of the pit lane for everybody to pass him, which is not a bad move. Not a bad move at all. We'll have a look at the first person who is at the front of the queue. And that person is Jens Batesma. I'll have a look at Jens Batesma. In fact, let's look behind Jens Batesma. If we can, at the queue of cars falling behind him. There's only a few of them. Kind of hard to see on the graphics. Let's see if I can change the colours on that. I mean, that's kind of better actually, even if it is sort of red, you can see the edges. But let's run on board with Jens as he starts his first flying lap of this Mexico City circuit in qualifying 1. Top 10 drivers go through to Q2. Expect a bloodbath. Affected heavily by track limits. We're underway. Over the line goes Jens Batesma. Takes a long, long run down towards the first corner. .300 kilometres, breaking down to about 120 through the first couple of corners. Straight over those 2 curbs at 2 and 3, like they're nothing. And onto the second straight. Right down to one of the slowest corners in the track through turns 4 and turn 5. You can feel that we're getting loose through there. 6 now. Double apex right-hander. Get on the power nice and early. Towards turn number 7 and the start of the S's section. Get a wide line coming into it. You're set up for the rest of the complex. One wrong move and you're off the track. But Jens has got that absolutely perfectly done. At least from a track limits perspective. Into the power sole now. 90-degree right-hander, slightly downhill into the hairpin. Late apex, otherwise you'll end up stranded on the inside of the next corner and the inside of the next one after that. Final corner now. Feels quite solid. It's a 20.7. That's nowhere near enough. We're looking at a mid to high 19 for pole position. But he's only just getting started. No push to pass for qualifying, of course. So this is purely about them. Let's take a look at Matty Labiak now. He's coming around the final corner. He's actually invalidated this lap. We've already had quite a few people invalidate the lap, including Juan and Pinga Quinn as well. Where's Jack Olivier in all this? Let's take a look at him. He is heading down towards the Far Sol now. With an invalidated lap as well. It's so hard to find people that haven't invalidated the lap. Look at Robbie Kinnable. Can't find him in the list. There's Robbie Kinnable around the final corner now. He does the lap, goes P9 and 22.2. As my frame rate decides to not enjoy itself. Jens set a purple first sector, 30.2. Followed by a not so good second sector, but it is still valid, which seems to be crucial here. I need to turn that down. Mike Glass goes to top of 20.467 with a blinding final sector, but Jens is 2/10 faster in the first sector than Mike Blast's first sector. But he does go wide there at the final corner, so that's going to be invalidated as he has just realised he's pulled over. He's going to get started straight away. Joao Guerra is going to be next. He goes P2 with a 20.519. Jens actually left the server. Oh, okay. Rapid, he goes P3, 20.7. Popovic, P3 instead, 20.6. Immediately displaces Rapid, just like he did to me in AF3 on Friday. Popovic has got some serious speed. He's done really well this weekend, AF3, AF2 and AF1. Philip Bauer goes P5 with a 21.2. Next will be Shiny Waffles. And behind that, Thomas Cameron, improvement 22.4 for Shiny. No lap time for Thomas Cameron. It was invalid. Daniel Wolf will be next. Through the final corner. Took a lot out of that final apex. Goes P5, 20.9. This really is going to be a bloodbath. There's only 3 minutes left in the session and half the field still haven't set a lap yet because they've all been invalidated. They need to be... You have a good chance of getting into Q2 right now if you just complete a lap that's valid. The cut-off time is currently a 21.7. Tron goes P6, 20.9. High drama in this session. Bentzman's back in the session now. P4 is his current position. Second look at Matty Labiak, currently P13. He's heading down to the Far Sol, but he's got traffic in the head in the form of Rapidi. Daniel Wolf has spun. He was turn 7. He got Rapidi in the way there. Fully over that song, over the apex there, but it's gone well for him, I think. It's a good line. Bonavane goes P2. Only about half a tenth off of Mike Blast. Very good time from Bonavane. Final corner for Matty Labiak. Over the line, it goes P12. Not quite enough. He's got enough time for 2 more laps, but hasn't got enough fuel for it. Jack Olivier, Purple's first sector, 30.0. So we'll keep an eye on him, and we'll do just that. He's coming towards the final couple of corners now. He's crossed the second sector line, so 30.9 in the second sector. Not quite his personal best in the second sector. But it might just be enough to get him through to Q2, or at least secure his place in Q2. Around the final corner and to the line, Robert Kinnable's ahead of him. We'll keep an eye on what his lap is. Jack Olivier goes to the top by a quarter of a second, 20 flat. 1 minute 20.079. Riley's up next. He's currently P14. A minute and a half left in this session. Joao Guerra's already in the pit lane. He's not going to have time to start another lap. So he is going to have to settle for P4 at best. No improvement for Riley. He's on a lap now. He was actually invalid in the second sector. That's Mex Janssen, current championship leader, goes P8. Just about goes through, pushes Philip Bauer out of Q2. You need a 20 now. You need a 1 minute 20 if you want to go through to Q2. Bonavane's coming around the final corner. He is pretty much safe in this session, and he goes, wow, goes top of the 19.7. He displaces Jack Olivier at the top of the times. Mythic, yet to set a lap, actually drops down the field after completing it, but he's got 45 seconds to do 1 lap. He's got 1 last chance. That also goes for Imran Shaikh, Andrade, Nesh, Cameron, Gutierrez, Weber, and Mythic, who all have yet to set a lap time of any note. Cameron goes P17. Mike Glass had a huge crash at turn 8. I noticed Mythic got a little bit squirrely on the exit of turn number 3. But again, he just needs to set a lap. Anything will do at this point. Doesn't have to be a 1 minute 20 or 1 minute 22. You can still put him in. He's got a P15, P16. And he spun it. There goes Mythic. Weber goes P19. Robbie Kinnable has stopped on track on the outside of turn 10. He was P13. He's not going through. Let's take a look at some of the some real people going across the line. Max Janssen, no improvement. Matty Labiak will be next. No improvement from him. Joao Guerra, no improvement. Filson, improved P6. Great lap from him. Pushes Daniel Wolf out of the session. Charbatron is on the bubble here. Daniel Wolf is on a lap though. It's valid. Betsma goes P2, 20.0. Andrade P17. Daniel Wolf will be next. Still a few people to come through to the finishing line. Laid will be the last one over the line. This looks like it could be a good lap from Daniel Wolf. If he gets a good lap, he's P11. He only needs to find about a tenth of a second. He doesn't improve. Stays P11. He's out of the session. Popovic has stopped on track. Only Labiak and Gutierrez can stop him. Gutierrez will be next. P13, not quite enough. He only missed out by a couple of tenths of a second. 3 tenths to be precise. Or 4 tenths. Which only leaves Matty Labiak. Currently P14. He needs to beat he needs to beat Charbatron's time as people leave the session. So he needs a 20.87 to go through to Q2. Oh, and he's lost the back end through the penultimate corner. That's probably going to be the end of Matty Labiak there as Max Janssen improves P3 somehow. I thought his session was over. Does not improve. Does not improve. He stays P. I don't know what position it is now, but there we go. So I'll have confirmation of who is through and who is out in a minute. Obviously, everything is going to sort of mess up with people leaving the server. But we have our top 10 going through to Q2. I get to go through as well because I'm the commentator. Yay me. No, F5 is the refresh button, not F6. Use your fingers, Josh. I believe the cut is 10th place. It's normally top 10, isn't it? Yeah, it is. Wait for the session to... Wait for the server to die. I hope I'm pretty sure I set the results time to 30 seconds. Hello, vessel. You missed Q1. Fairly dramatic, I would say. Plenty going on. Oh yeah, Vessel, you did miss Q2. And then a place in Q2. But you got a place here. So, I can confirm, going through to Q2. Bonavane, Jens Beidsma, Jack Alilier, Mike Blast, Max Janssen, Joao Guerra, Manu Popovic, Phillison, Rapidi, and Charbatrond. Eliminated, Daniel Wolf, Pinker Quinn, Gutierrez, Kinnable, Labiak, Vivos, Riley, Cowan, Andrade, Shiny Waffles, Weber, Shaik, Mythic, and Roman Nesh. So, let's set up Q2. Get all the right people going through, and we'll be away. Lickety-split. 3, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, and then also add in me and Mosquito. Bob's your uncle. And the server's now up for Q2. And when the server refreshes for me, I can join. Server's not refreshing for me. Uh-oh. That's the auto loop event. Something's gone wrong. Oh, come on. Work for me, please. Don't make me have to shit on you. By which I mean kill you. Right, try that again. And refresh. Why is it not listing? People are able to join. There we go. Okay, here we go. Now everyone's joining quickly. We're just waiting on one more driver to join us, Shabbatron, and he has now joined, so everyone is in the session ready to go. All that's left to do is wait for the 8 minutes marker. For the 8 minute marker. And for me to actually get in the server properly. And they'll be underway with an 8 minute shootout to decide pole position. We're waiting at the end of the pit lane. Jens will be out first again, then Joao Guerra, then Popovic and Rapidi. All 10 drivers waiting patiently in the pit lane. And away they go. And there's one person, that's Bonavane, that's decided, I would say rather smartly, not to follow them. Here we're going in a second. But let's take a look at the mess going on around. And one of these camera sets just doesn't work at all, and this one does. Through the fog we see. That's loud! A little bit of crash. Narayan Popovic has crashed into Mike Blast. They've both come back into the pits. Can't catch these things fast enough, I'm afraid. It's a bit foggy indeed, Vessel, and that is... I like that. Bit of ambiance today. So who's your money on for pole? We've got 6.5 minutes left. No, I can't remove these ambulance sounds. That involves me going into 3D Sim and deleting things. And that would break the KM5, which means I can't join the session. So we're stuck with it. Jens Batesma will be the first one to start his lap. Joao Guerra behind, then Mex Janssen. Keep an eye on sector times as they come through. First sector is he was at the end of the straight just before turn 4. But Jens has got the best track position. Or has he actually? It's quite spread out. No, the thing to put on the engine volume doesn't do it either. I've checked. I have checked. First sector times. Jens is already invalid. Jack Olivier's got the fastest sector 1 time at the minute with 30.2. Rapidi's invalid as well. So we'll take a look at Joao Guerra instead, who is just behind. As Mike Glass starts his lap as well. No one else is improving. There's only 4 people that have actually set a valid first sector. Joao Guerra purples the second sector with a 30.9. What's Jack Olivier's response? Mex Janssen is now invalid. Joao Guerra has just decided to skip the final corner and get a better run. There we go. Turn it down a bit more. There we go. I shouldn't really go much further down. Technically, Jens' lap was at 19.5, but that wasn't at all valid. Jack Olivier, however, will be the only one to set a valid lap as a 20.2. There's probably more in there. Charbotron goes second with a 20.7. But the second laps are underway now. People have accounted for invalid laps. We'll see who is actually going to set a valid lap. First over there will be Joao Guerra. It's valid. As I see Olivier crashing on the exit of turn 3. I'm liking the new smoke effects, by the way. Jens is going to leave the pits now and start a lap. He's probably going to do one last run. So let's go on board Joao as he goes through the second sector. Should be flat through here. And that does sound flat. Second sector line coming up. It's not as fast. 3 corners left. Here's one of them. I can't count. There's 4. Was there 5? I don't know. This is the final corner. I know that. Where's it going to be for Joao? We've had 3 valid lap times. P2 for Joao. Okay, 20.5. Next up along will be Max Janssen. He's on a valid lap. He goes P5, 21.3. Then Rapidi goes P5 instead, 21.1. Straight back to the pits. Charbatron will be next. He's coming to P4. Improves to P2. Excellent lap for Charbatron, 20.4 there. Jack Olivier next. He's currently got pole position. And improved. Bilson next, 21.2. Bonavane after that goes to pole position with a 19.8. Nemanja Popovic is up next. He's going to start a lap now, I'm guessing. And Jens Beitzma is starting his flying lap. Any more improvements as we get the next lot of cars coming across the first sector lines? No improvement from Gerard Gecker through the first sector. He's coming through the second sector now, through the S's section. Charbatron's on a personal best. Mike Blast goes to P3, 20.3. Oh, we're definitely in for a treat today. There's so many... Oh, good lord. My PC's struggling to take this. Bonavane's gone purple in the first sector. Charbatron's gone purple in the second sector. This could be a really good lap for Charbatron. It's going to be in the could it be in the 19s to put him on pole position, or at least the front row. Only 2.5 minutes left in this session, so there's not a lot of time left for people to make any changes. Jack Olivier instead goes purple by another 10.5. But Charbatron improves, goes P2, 20.0, can't make it into the 19s. Jack Olivier will be next. He goes P2 instead of Charbatron, 19.833. That's only 300ths off of the pole position time. Not quite enough. He will definitely keep going. Mike Blast is going to be next. Well, Popovic goes P6 in the meantime. Bonavane doesn't improve. Jens Beitzma, his first lap goes to P4 ahead of Mike Blast. 20.095. There's a bit of gaggle forming around about the 20.0 is the 19.8s. Next will be Mike Blast. Around the final corner, his best lap is currently a 20.3. No improvement. In fact, it was invalid in the second sector, 20.5 anyway. So that's the end of that. Guerra is going to be next. Final chances start now. Drow can pretty much forget that spin. Hold it, pull it together. You got to pull forwards. Oh, he's not. Oh, he's doing that. He could have gone for another lap. Maybe he didn't have enough fuel. He hasn't got enough time to start another one. So that's the end of Joao's qualifying. Next will be Max Janssen, currently P10. He's ready to set up a lap. He's got Jack Olivier pacing quickly towards him. Away he goes, does Max Janssen. Popovic is in the pits now as well. Bonavane, his quali is over. So he might not be on pole. And he's definitely not going to be on pole. Jack Olivier goes pole position. 19.766. Rapidi's next, currently P8. He'll be starting a lap now as well. Jens Beitzma will be finishing a lap. He's in a great first sector. An okay second sector. Improves, still only P3. It's such an awesome head of the field. I think the last time I've seen so many drivers in this top group of cars, as Mike Blast improves but doesn't change from P5, is season 4 in the RSS F3s. You had 6 drivers right at the top in that top group. It was so great to see. This is going to be a bit of an anticlimax in the end. Only Mike Blast and Gecker can finish a lap, I think. Oh no, Gecker's out. Oh no, actually Gecker came out the pits. That ain't going to work. Cutting the track ain't going to work. Filson stopped on track. Is Janssen going to be on a lap? He is. He's on a pretty good one as well. It's a really good first sector. Not purple, but it's close to it. So this could be a serious improvement from Max Janssen. Round the final corner. to the line for Max Janssen. Does he improve from 10th place? He goes to 6th. Good lap from Max Janssen, 20.3. And there we have it. Unless, well, Mike Glass crossed the line in time, so he might be able to set another lap. He's 600th down after the first sector on the pole time set by Jacques Olivier. It's going to be Jack or Mike Blast on pole in Mexico. Another 10th down. There's not really enough time in this final sector to gain much time. So he has a chance at P4, I would say. Anything higher is not really feasible. He does improve but stays P5. So it's Jacques Olivier that takes pole position on his return to AF1. His comeback is underway. Bonnevain alongside him on the front row. Then Jens Batesma and Charles Bertrand. Mike Brass 5th. Then Max Janssen, Joao Guerra, Nemanja Popovic, Rapidi and Filson will start in P10. So there we have it. That's qualifying done and dusted. All that's left to do is race. And we'll see you in a second. Welcome back. We are about 4 minutes away from the start of the Mexico AFGP in AF1 Season 9. And as I was saying earlier, we've got 6 drivers in this sort of lead group. It's amazing to see, and we haven't seen it, I think, this many in the top group since season 4. Back then we had, I think it was Lowy, Jens, Dirty, there's more. Colin Backer. Oh god, I've got to look back at the results now from season 4. I don't need nostalgia today. I bought it on myself. Season 4, that was Jens Batesma, Colin Backer, Andrea De Neuer, Lowy, Dirty, and also who else? There was a sixth person, but he couldn't join many races. I think he left partway through. I'm sure there was 6, but anyway, in this season we've got 6 of them. And they're all starting in the top 6. We've got Olivier, Bonavane, Batesma, Bertrand, Mike Blast, and Janssen. And this season is going to be one of the best AF1 has ever produced. I can guarantee it. We've got storylines galore. We've got the battle at the top on face value. That's the top 2 in the championship. Janssen and Betsma. Betsma starts P3, Janssen P6. They're separated by 1 point in the championship. Jack Olivier, reigning champion twice over in AF1 after Season 6 and Season 7. He's on pole today. It's his first race this season. He's got some points to make up. Charles Bertrand, the P2 of P2s. And Mike Blast, the newcomer, with a reputation that certainly precedes him.
You know what problem? There's a wrong weather set for the track.
Oh. Oh well? Do we just continue anyway?
They want to change it. So I
Okay.
can hear.
Okay, that's fine. I'll get it changed over.
Okay, I'm gonna be back. Thank you.
Cool. Let them know. The small delay because of Mother Nature issues. I must have forgotten to set that. But one thing I didn't say at the start, at the top of the show, was what the weather was. So I'll wave the weather in front of you because that's shiny. There we go. Here's the weather for the upcoming race. 14 degrees air temperature. Oh, don't set it to 7 o'clock. Jesus. 1500 will be fine. I didn't even notice it was the wrong weather. It's 14 degrees air temperature, 19 degrees track temperature, 5 kilometers of wind, pointing at 163 degrees, which I have no idea what direction that actually is, but there we go. And I'm going to change it so it's 3 minutes to the start of the session, just so we can get it going. There we go. Session's now been restarted. Let's remind you of the championship standings coming into this race. We have Max Janssen leading by 1 point over Jens Batesma. Bobasaur is third. Bobasaur's not here today. Max Janssen is currently starting P6 on the grid. Jens Batesma starts P3. Definitely no issues with copyright on the front page. Who's your money on for the win? There's 6 of them in the top 6 that could easily win this race. Who's your money on? How many safety cars are there going to be as well? I think there's going to be 1. I said that beforehand, before starting the stream. I think there's going to be 1 safety car. And it's going to happen on lap 2. That's the correct weather. There we go. Apparently, track is dusty. Oh, there we go. It's sorted itself out now. the last few people to join the grid, and then we'll go through the grid for the third round of AF1 in Season 9. We've got Shah, we've got Mosquito, who will probably forget to join. Oh, he's already done it. Oh, look at that, he's already back in the pits. We've got Jens, we're waiting on Bonavane, we're waiting on Mike Blast as well. Oh, and Roman Nash, but I couldn't quite tell who that was. That wasn't the back. Mike Blast is there. So we've just got the one driver left, Bonavane. And then we'll go through the grid. Please join Bonavane. There we go. Okay, everyone is here. Let's go through the grid. Jack Olivier starts on pole position alongside Bonavane. Jens Batesma is in third alongside Charbatron. Row 3, Mike Blast and Max Janssen. Row 4 is Joao Guerra and Nemanja Popovic. Row 5, Rapidi and Philip Bauer. Row 6, Daniel Wolf, Pingu Quinn. Row 7, Juan Manuel Gutierrez and Robert Kinnable. Row 7, Matti Lebeck and Vivos. Then we have Riley, Thomas Cameron, Ruben Andrade, Shiny Waffles, Lucas Weber, Imran Shaikh, Bimythic, Romanesh and Jake Feemster. We are 20 seconds away from the lights here in Mexico City. This is going to be a really long run to the first corner, and anything can happen in that time as we await the lights. All 6 lights are on. And we're away. I have no idea who's got a good start, but it looks like Jack Liver's got a pretty good start, and Bonavane has not. Jens Batesma's followed him, and that's a P0 sign. Let's move away from that. Jens Batesma's passed the both of them at the front row. Bonavane's passed Jack Liver as well. He's got the inside. Max Janssen's looking down the inside of all of them. This might do. Guerra, Mike Glass almost crashed into Joao Guerra, and he does. They do touch, but Jack Liver's going to take second down from Bonavane. Max Janssen trying to get past Bonavane as well. Fails to do so. So it is Jens Batesma that takes the lead after the first few corners. Jack Olivier is second, then Bonavane, then Max Janssen and Joao Guerra. Seems to be all clean behind that, and we see Robert Kinnable down the inside of Joao Guerra into turn number 4, and Mike Glass as well. That's a bloody good move from Robert Kinnable. Joao Guerra's trying to fight back through the second part. Keeps position. He's got the outside line for the 6th corner. He's going to keep the position. Excellent move from Robert Kinnable at the start of this race. Joao might take a dive down the inside. No, he won't. As we head into the S's section, that's the first off-track there for Joao Guerra. 20 track cuts equals a DSQ. You start getting penalties from 5 track cuts. Vivos has lost the back end. He is at the back of the field now. Let's take a look at the top 3. Bonavane is holding on to the back of the top 3. As we've seen, Mike Blast has had a spin. He's spun on the entry to the far sole. He's going to have trouble merging back in with the pack. Pingu Quinn's had an awful start as well. He's P23. A few drivers decided to use their push to pass, including Joao Guerra and Robbie Kinnable in defence of Joao Guerra. It's a drag race down towards turn number 1. Kinnable goes defensive down the inside. Joao's got a nice open space around the outside to just swoop round. Oh, doesn't quite do it. He's sort of forced in a really awkward position through turn 2. Ignore the rotation of the car slightly. Joao goes wide. I don't think he has any... I don't think Joao gives a shit about the track limits right now. He can focus on that later. Joao's going to have a look around the outside at turn number 4. Oh, Kinnable giving him absolutely no room in left touch. Oh, Joao's punted round him. Punted him round, and it's a bit of a melee trying to get through all of that. Everybody seems to. Matti Lebeck's in the thick of it as well. There's a few moves at the back. Jake Feemster spun round towards the back of the field. I'm surprised I haven't seen a safety car for that, actually. There's a few spins there. Meanwhile, the leaders are coming through to the end. They've already got a 5-second lead. This top 4 have already got a 5-second lead on the rest of the field. It's incredible. They're in another league, this lot. Max Janssen's holding onto the back of it. Jack Olivier, the only one of the top 4 yet to use a push to pass. Will he use one now? Trying to get past Jens Batesma. If he wants the championship, he needs to be on taking every point he possibly can from these leaders. Fastest lap for Jack Olivier. As Rapidy's on the push to pass. He's nowhere near anybody though, so we'll ignore that. Shiny Waffles, meanwhile, has lost out 2 places. Thomas Cameron and Juan Gutierrez battling for the peanuts. For pride only in P18. Oh, Lucas Faber looking to make it. Oh, they've done it! Down the inside. Lucas Faber's passed all three of them. One shot himself. Shiny Waffles tries to make the best of any of it. Thomas Cameron's gone all wide as well. And Pingu Quinn's involved as well. It's 6 cars involved. I had to say it. I had to. I'm glad I caught that. Jacques Olivier's catching up to Jens Bates, but he's down to 3/10. So much action in this field. Charlie Watson's spun around. I think he's come together with Pingu Quinn because they're both dropping back in the field. But I'm going to watch this because it's a battle for the lead. Round outside goes Jacques Olivier. They almost touched him into the Forward Soul. Oh, they've touched again, coming into the Forward Soul. That's twice in one corner. Jacques Olivier's got the inside. Bonnevain's ready to take any position he possibly can. It's still side by side. We're at the final corner of the lap. Turn 15, turn 16 is Bonnevain will win a ball. Bonnevain for all this because this is going to be nuts coming down the front straight. Max Janssen's on the push to pass. None of the top 3 are though. So here comes Bonnevain to make it 3 wide. Where's Max Janssen? He's too far back. I'm going to go F5 for this because it's still 3 wide. It's 3 wide here for the lead. Bedford's the fastest. No, it's now Bonnevain who's got the inside. Bonnevain backs out of it. Jacques Olivier goes for a dive down the inside. Jens Bedford's a bit wider, but he's still got the inside for turn 2. Oh, he's been putting around by Max Janssen. Bonnevain's round. My cat's been scared off. That's the end of Bonnevain's race, I'm afraid. For now, but he's got some serious speed. Keep an eye out for him later. Max Janssen will almost certainly get a penalty for that. I have to pause to let my cat out of the room. That's really disappointing because it's a really fun battle to watch. Charbotron could take home a couple of extra points by passing Bonnevain here. Finally, let the cat out. Go, 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 go. Out you go, out you go. Onwards we go as we see Robert Kinnable dropping 2 places. In fact, he's battling with Rapidi through turn number 6. He's already lost out to Nemanja Popovic. Has Robert Kinnable. Matty Lebiak's spun from P12. I come together with Daniel Wolf, as we can see there. And they've both gone off the track. Oh, track limits are going to be so chaotic at the end of this race. Joao Guerrero's already got past Rapidi for P9. He's catching up to Robert Kinnable very, very quickly. He's got some serious pace. We're going to see Olivier and Betts side by side again down the front straight. Neither of the top 2 have used push to pass in the last few laps in their individual skirmishes. How close is Max Janssen to all of this? He's not using any push to pass at the minute, but he has used 2 in this race. Jens Bates has got only the slipstream. No push to pass is in effect here. Down the inside goes Jens Bates to the lead of the race. Oh, they're touched! Oh! And they both survived! Jens Bates keeps the lead. Jacques Olivier decides to skip the corner to take the lead back. But Max Janssen's going to take Jens Bates, but he might even take Jacques Olivier. Here, Animals turn number 4. Down the inside. Max Janssen takes the lead of the race for some push to pass. Very opportune move there from Max, but he's gone deep. And he's had to spin the tyres. Jacques Olivier takes the lead back of this race. Small collision with Jens Bates, but it's probably a bit of ping more than anything else. Oh, what a battle we have for the lead. It's only lap 5. Meanwhile, Robert Kinnable and Rapidi's been spun around by Robert Kinnable. I knew that would happen. Oh, he's stranded there. Poor little bugger. Lucas Weber has come together with, I think, Roman Nesh. Rapidi's going to keep dropping back. He's got nowhere to go. He's stranded there for so long. He's got a little bit of time now to get moving. Out of the way, Roman Nesh. There we go. Coming to the end of the lap now. Jens Bates was going to try and get past Max Janssen as we head back down the front straight. I'm surprised we've had no safety cars. That's quite cool. But it's not been entirely incident-free, let's say. Janssen's in cooldown from the push to pass, so he's got no response whatsoever. But Jens does not know that. Down the front straight we go. No push to pass still for Jens. He's only using the slipstream, and it's effective enough to get him to the outside, at least side by side. He's going to swing around the outside of Max Janssen through turn 1. Max holds the position for now. Turn 4 is the next opportunity. Jens needs to get a good exit from here, and he kind of does. Slipstream could be in effect, but push to pass is definitely in effect. Janssen goes defensive to the inside. Jens makes an easy move around the outside. Will Max make any attempt here to take back the position? Oh, he's almost tapped! He does tap Jens, but he's kept it going. Oh, the margins are so fine. Janssen has a little bit of a lockdown into turn number 6, but it's not going to happen. All of this battling is causing Jack to just pull away, which is exactly what neither of these 2 championship protagonists want. Jens almost loses the back end at turn number 7. Let's look a bit further back in the field to Ruben Andrade. He's currently trying to chase down Robert Kinnable. He's holding on to P9 quite nicely. Just breathing for a second. Let's have a look at Martin Lebiak in his recovery. He came to go to Daniel Wolf a couple of laps ago. And Mike Blast is also in his comeback through the field as well. Mike Blast has had a couple of battles with Matty Layback in this season, particularly round 1 back at Fuji. That actually caused Mike Blast's demise in the end, because he went for a dive down the inside at turn 1 and money shifted and he had to retire from the race. Well, that was already a case of going from bad to worse for him. Pingu Quinn on the back of Juan Gutierrez. They're both on push to pass, but Slipstream gives Pingu the advantage. And they both have a significant advantage on Imran Shaikh, who's only just going on to push to pass. 3 wide there. Gutierrez is losing out completely. He was the first on the push to pass, and he's going to lose out as a result. Shaikh tries to hold it around the outside. He's not going to do it with Pingu Quinn. Oh, and Juan has to really take evasive action there, because Imran Shaikh, through no fault of his own, was in the way there. And now Shaikh's going to lose out to V-Wolves as well, who's now P18. V-Wolves has a little look at Juan, but nah, not quite close enough here, but we'll keep an eye on that one. That's going to simmer as Juan loses it a little bit out of turn 5. Those Mythic spins in P15. Oh! Almost wipes out Pingu Quinn. Is that a bad rejoin? I'm not quite sure. He was definitely trying to rejoin the track while there's a car coming past, as Thomas Cameron goes wide at 7, right in front of Mythic. But Mythic can't do anything about it. On to the point straight now for the top 3. It's all about a second between each of the top 3. Bonavain's 2 seconds back from that, and Charbatron another 2 seconds back. So they're all still in the race. There's Filson in P6, Popovic P7, Guerra is P8, and Robert Kiddable P9, who is being chased down by Ruben Andrade in P10. Few drivers now setting personal bests as the fuel decreases and the tyres are still within their working range. Most people starting to get the hang of the push-to-pass strategy. A couple of people being conservative with it, Charbatron and Riley in particular, who haven't used any of theirs yet. Same for V-Volts and Shiny Waffles, who's at the back. But there's a couple that have used one quite a lot. Imran Shaikh has already used 8 of his 10, and Rapid has used 6 of his 10. Push-to-pass lasts 10 seconds, and you've seen the effect it has, just in this race. Andrade is starting to think of Kinnable as a bit of a roadblock. And just to add to the pressure, he's got Mike Blast right behind him in P11. Oh, a little wide there. Dirty Air is a bit, it has some effect. It's not significant, but it's there. Kinnable goes wide coming into the Forest Assault, which brings Ruben Andrade back into the fight. But he never really left the fight, so it's actually had no effect whatsoever. Daniel Wolf is about to join this. And Robert Kinnable is turning into a bit of a trolley train here. No push to pass for Andrade. Kinnable switches to the right hand side and goes defensive. Andrade just pulls to the right hand side, just reminds him he's there. Is Kinnable going to defend? He does. He goes, breaks later, keeps the position. Well defended from Robert Kinnable. Mike Blast is desperately searching for a way to get past this because Wolf is here. He's hunting. I'll never do that pun again. Kinnable goes super defensive again as my connection to the server shits itself a bit. Daniel Wolf has a little punt down the inside of Mike Blast. Now to the outside. No move there. It's a little wobbly as well. No changes of position here. Next, Janssen starting to catch Jens Basement, and Jens Basement's actually starting to catch Jack Olivier as well. The gap's closed. It's half a second now for the lead. But we'll switch for this because it's a four-car battle. What more could you ask for? I know, better connection. Because I don't know what's going on here. As Mike Blast is side by side with Andrade coming to the far side. Round the outside goes Mike Blast. He's got the inside for the hairpin. We'll switch to the off-board camera at the risk of being deafened by fans. Daniel Wolf has a late move on Andrade. It almost works here. Is it going to be enough to go around the outside at turn 15? No, it's not. But he's in there for the push to pass. And Matty Labiak's in the fight now. This is now a 5-way battle for P9. We'll pile on the battle. In fact, as a result, Kinnable's actually starting to pull away. Mike Blast actually has got past Kinnable now. That's that battle over. Daniel Wolf and Ruben Andrade side by side. Matty Labiak's looking for how to get in on this. You know Kinnable's going to try and make a dive down the inside. He's got the outside line. He's holding it. They're side by side for P2. I'm trying to keep an eye on all of this. Mike Blast has held it through 3. He's got the lead. Kinnable spun. Wolf is slow. He gets hit by Labiak. Wolf stays in it though. Labiak maintains the position. He's got down the inside of Ruben Andrade. A little bit cautious here. It's very close between the two of them. Very close racing. Oh, and there's a little bit of pushing and shoving through turn 5, which is kind of inevitable. It's a really difficult corner. Daniel Wolf sneaks down the inside of Matty Lebeck and also down the inside of Ruben Andrade. He's got the outside for turn number 7 now. Move around the outside surely isn't on. It is if you go off the track, which is exactly what's happened there. Daniel Wolf will hopefully be sportsmanlike and give them the position back, but I don't think there's anything in the rules that suggests that we have to. Daniel Wolf has just cleared off there. Andrade's really held up. Bonavane sets the fastest lap, so he's going to be rejoining the lead battle very, very soon, so stay tuned for that. As Lebriak and Andrade collide, they're both sliding through turn number 12. He should really... I think that's Andrade's position, Lebriak. Around the outside he goes. Good move from Andrade to take the position back. Popovic is now on the back of Guerra coming towards turn 1. Ooh. Connection thing again. No positions change hands here. We'll switch back to this battle for P11. Lebiak down the inside of Ruben Andrade. They bang wheels coming towards turn 1. Andrade's got the outside line. Oh no! He turned in too early! He was trying to swoop around the outside and he just turned in too early. Lebiak is facing backwards like Bottas in the Mexican GP. That is tragic for Lebiak, who's rejoined right behind Vivolfs. We're going to switch to the lead battle now because this top 3 and now top 4 is going to get very spicy as we head to the pit stops very soon. Should be half distance, lap 17. Wait for people to come in. A few people might try the undercut or overcut. I don't know. There's plenty to go. Jens Baesma, fastest of the top 4 on that lap, but only by a tenth of a second. It's about a 2/10 separating the top 3, and Bonavane is about 3/10 slower than the 3 of them. Charbotron's doing a 21.7 in 5th place. He's fairly stable right now. I can breathe for a second now. I wish I had a drink with me. I don't. He's on the back of Thomas Cameron. This is for P18. I know the lower places, but it's still great battling all the way through the field. We'll go up for the Orbit Cam for this. As Rapidly takes the position from Thomas Cameron. I think it was around the outside as well. I think I changed cameras midway through and missed most of it. But you're noticing in this battle, this is also the leftovers from people that have died in the battles of P9. Robert Kinnable, Matty Lebiak. Baseman's very close to Olivier. He's down to 4/10 of a second. Another off track, I think, there for Jens Baseman. So unless he slows down, I don't think he will, though. Probably in protest of the system we have in place. It's not the best system. It's the best system that exists. There's probably a better one that could be made. Huge cut there from Jens. Wow, okay, I guess that's legal. Maybe. And another huge cut. But it's... Ignore that. Oh, don't give me a heart attack, system. Come on. Down the front straight we go. Both of these drivers have only used 2 push-to-passes. Max Janssen's on one now. And so is Bonavane to try and catch up. In fact, when did that happen? Max Janssen... No, that was always the case. My bad, my bad. When did they switch positions? A long time ago. This is lap 13 of 34. 22 laps of racing still to come and a pit stop to hopefully spice things up a little bit. As if they needed spicing up any more than your finest Mexican cuisine. I sound like David Croft. Help me. This lead battle is not going to let up for a while. Olivier and Batesma, for the first time in many seasons, they're not racing together in AF1. I think at the outcry, at the request of many people, please just give us the Constructors' Championship to fight over. Kinnable and Vivos are battling over P15. This is the final point. See the chess moves in play here to try and get a good exit over 3 compared to your rival. Janssen's starting to lose a little bit of pace. Bonavane has gained some. Beckman's on the push to pass coming out of the final corner. So is Jack Olivier. I suspect they're in cahoots there, but it's very close between the top 3. They're all within about a tenth of each other. Bonavane is even faster than Alden at 20.2 compared to the leader's 20.5. This is going to be a real barnstorm of a finish. Vespa's right there. Through 2, through 3. Olivier's got a much better run through there. Guerra and Filson battling over P6 now. Down the inside looks Filson. Nope. there are drivers that are cutting everywhere. Be aware that track limits are in effect. You get 5, you start getting penalties. You get 20, you get disqualified. So that could change the order of things come the end of the race. Way wide again goes Jens Baesper. If this seems to be what is necessary to keep up with Jack Olivier, who I'm noticing is not cutting anywhere near as much as Jens is. Let's take a look at the back at the battle for the final point. Bobby Kinnable still in 15th place, then Vivels, Rapidi, and Thomas Cameron is very close behind. Matthew Lennox seems to have dropped back from this battle. Rapidi has got a bit too focused on the rear of Vivels and just drifted wide there. Cameron should take an easy place there. No, Rapidi's still got the inside, so moving around the outside of turn 7 is quite difficult without going off. Pinker Quinn, meanwhile, catching up to P12, Ruben Andrade. Pinker Quinn at the start of the race 15 laps ago was at the back of the field. I think he got spun off early on in this race. His comeback drive is something to behold, to be quite honest with you. A little bit of a move just to break the toe. Not really going to work because Pinker Quinn's following. The rear wing of Andrade says send it. He will. And return to sender. So Pinker Quinn will lose out to Gutierrez now. Let's switch back to the lead battle as they come onto the front straights. Half a second, 4/10. Now, as they come up to the first of the lap cars, that'll be Mesh and Shiny Waffles, I think. They're quite close together. Let's go back to the battle for P24. Why not? Oh, they've lapped a couple of cars. In fact, been lapped by Charles Bertrand here. Best lost a lot of time because Jack Olivier has used push to pass where Jens has not. Bonnevane, very close to Max Janssen now. 3/10. Is a dive on the cards? No, not just yet, but there's an opportunity coming in turn number 4 if he gets a good exit from turn number 3. Here we go. Very conservative over those apexes. Janssen holds firm for now. No need to put any particular stress or strain into defending his podium. Bonnevane has a little bit of a moment coming out of 6. Pinker Quinn, who first driver into the pits at the end of lap 15. Rapidi will follow. Should see most people coming in on lap 17. That's 2 laps time. The leaders just started. The leaders are on lap 16 now. We're about to start lap 17. Is anybody going to take a chance to try and undercut or overcut? Seemingly nobody. But Rapidi, Mythic, will all go a lap down as a result. Here's Lucas Weber having a bit of interference here. As Jens Baesper's on the push to pass down the inside of the turn 1. Jack Olivier, he makes the move. Jack Olivier holds firm on the outside. Jens Baesper's still got a little bit of push to pass. He's run out now. So Jack keeps the lead, but the gap is back down to 4/10 per second. I think it will be as close as it is as they come into the pit lane. The question is who will go into that pit lane first and who will come out first. They could be different people. Just you wait. Bonnevane, meanwhile, is just as close to Olivier. Sorry, he's just as close to Janssen as Baesper is to Olivier. 3/10 of a second through the south complex of 4, 5, and 6. All of the top 4 still have 6 push to passes at their disposal. Will the top 2 come into the pits? It is lap 17 after all. We're at half distance. Jack tends to go long though. Down the inside goes Jens Baesper into the hairpin. This is going to be side by side into the pit lane at this rate. Who's going to dive for the pit lane? Ah! First and pit entry! Who's in the pits now? Baesper goes to the pits. Olivier has to take a bit longer. Bonnevane takes 3rd place, coming into the pit lane. Max Janssen does not stop. He takes the lead of the race. So you would think Mex and Bonnevane are now in pole position Oh, they're in the best position, so Janssen has to get a really clean in-lap here and could pull a mighty stop here. Guerra will take P2 now. So keep an eye on the drivers as they come out of the pits. We've got Batesma, Bonavane, Olivier, they're all on the move. Olivier's quite close to Bonavane here. And Batesma's got a little bit of breathing space now. But that will definitely be under the review at the end of the race. You know Olivier will fight that tooth and nail. They've been passed by Mike Blast as well, who is yet to pit, I will add. So, we'll keep an eye on this battle. We'll keep an eye on Max Janssen and where he is. Robert Kinnable's caught up to Gutierrez in for P13. And he's already passed him, actually, because Gutierrez has dived into the pits. I don't think anyone's ever said the past tense. Oh, there's been a crash up ahead. That's shining off the Biomythic, who are currently crashing into each other and failing to get away from each other in the middle of the South Complex. Meanwhile, as we watch Max Janssen, who's coming out the final corner, I'll let you know if he's coming to the pit lane. He does. He dives to the pit lane. Quite a late move for the pit lane, to be fair. So, current net race lead should be Jens Batesma. He's got about a 2-second lead over Bonavane. Mike Glass to get the stop, I will add. So keep an eye on where Max Janssen is and where he will come out, more importantly. He should be on the move fairly quickly. Batesma's coming to the final corner. Janssen's on the move. This is going to be really close here. We'll go to the F3 camera. The decent F3 camera. There's Max Janssen. He's coming out the pit lane. Batesma's passed. Bonavane's passed. I think Olivier's passed as well. Yes, they have. Bonavane and Olivier are side by side coming towards turn 1. Olivier's got the position back from Bonavane, but can he move around the outside? Bonavane might have a look down the inside here. No, he does not. Olivier retakes what is net P2. We see Imran Shaikh has disconnected. Sad to see him go. He's used all his push passes quite early. Try and push forwards. That's certainly not a reason for him to retire from the server. I mean, deafened by the crowd. I could fake it and try and act and say the crowd are loving this, but we all know it's fake, and they're actually watching the Indy 500. If you listen to the cars that are passing on the sound bites there. Batesman's got some clear space and some breathing space over Jack Olivier. If he's going to end up getting a penalty for his crash with Jack Olivier, he's going to need to make out 5 seconds pretty damn quickly. Round the outside goes Jack Olivier on Mike Blast. Oh, beautiful move there. Through turn number 12, it wasn't really necessary because you know Mike Blast will be pitting very soon, but he's made the move and takes P5. Mike Blast still not pitting either. I mean, a 0 stop is also possible, I suppose, but I'm not expecting it. We've only had half the field come in, so I guess the tyres aren't wearing as badly as one would expect. Bonavane is now going to have a turn at passing Mike Blast. Should be easy work here. Fresh tyres, old tyres. Should be roughly the same amount of fuel if Mike Blast is going for a no stop. And job done. Max Janssen will be next. He's got to catch back up to Bonavane. Bonavane has jumped Janssen in the pits. So great job there from Bonavane. Kind of shows, I guess, Max Janssen didn't quite have the in-lap he was hoping for. He had a shot at the lead if he had a great in-lap, but I guess he just didn't. He's actually ended up further back than he was before, and that could cost him in this championship battle. It's early days, of course. Super aggressive with Max Janssen, really close to Mike Blast. He's going to have a look down the inside of the hairpin. Mike Blast is going to give him the space, leave the door open for the move. And the advantage is taken. Popovic into the pits now. Baseman's not going to have any issues from Jake Peeps with Jack Olivier sets the fastest lap with a 19.917. Jens's lap by comparison was 4 tenths slower, 20.3. We're on lap 21 of 34. Popovic and Mike Blast now into pits at the end of lap 20. Never's going to come out behind Ruben Andrade, actually. Ruben Andrade hasn't pitted either, so it should be a net P6 and 7, I think. Daniel Wolf quite close to Charles Bertrand. Charles has pitted. Daniel Wolf has not. It's not exactly a representative battle, but it's a battle nonetheless, so we'll watch it because it could have ramifications. There's still quite a few packs close together that could cause safety cars. And Spaceman's next job is to get past Philip Bauer. Through the hairpin. Plenty of space given by Filson there. Job done. I expect Filson will dive for the pits now. He does not. So there's a couple of very interesting strategies at play here. Jens and Joao's lap times in the top two are not that dissimilar. They're within a tenth of each other. Jack and Olivier meanwhile doing a 20.1. So Olivier's back in the battle. It's only about a tenth the second back. There's Jens up ahead. You see on Jack's onboard. And I expect Jack Olivier will be past Filson by the end of the race, by the end of the lap. As Thomas Cameron very nicely gets out of the way. I think he left the server and had to reconnect. Andrade into the pits now from what was P11. Ignore that. Ignore that. No problem. Now Olivier's got caught up to Filson in exactly the same places as Jens did. So this is going to be crucial for the fight. Is Gerke going to dive for the pits? He is not. 21.0. He's setting, that's his personal best though, 21.0. It's a very good lap from him. To keep himself in this fight. 4 tenths and 5 tenths faster is Betzma and Olivier respectively trying to chase down Joao Guerra. Joao has only got to make 11 laps. I need to remind myself now, is there a mandatory pit stop or not? I remember hearing refueling was banned. No restrictions about number of pit stops or tyre changes. Here's the rule here. So Joao could pull off a real blinder from 7th on the grid to win this with a no stop. But he's got to hold on as Mythic and Shiny Waffles clash again in the battle for P21. They're down at turn 2. We've got Mike Glass in the way as Mythic will, I think, spin again. And he does. He's currently parked in not the greatest place to be parked. And that will be the end of Mythic's race, I'm afraid. It's down within a second between Jack and Batesma. If these two start battling, that is a great lifeline for Joao Guerra in his quest to win this race on possibly a no-stop. Still no stop there from Joao Guerra. 21.6 that lap. Probably because of a bit of traffic from Rapidi. 1.6 seconds faster was Jack Olivier. I mean, that lap again from Jack Olivier, and he's passed, or at least alongside, Jens Batesma. Bonavain's past Filton, who also hasn't stopped. Gap is 5.8 for the lead. I said this was going to be a barnstormer, but I didn't think it would end up like this. Oh, Jens has a little bit of a moment coming into 4. Olivier's right there, ready to charge past. Or are they going to be patient? Olivier is normally the patient type with the type of driver he races against, who could be easily forced into a mistake. But with a person like Jens or someone of a similar quality who is high up in the field, they don't make mistakes often. So you can't just wait for them to make a mistake, because often they won't. Max Janssen passes Filson for P4. 5. Gap is now 5 seconds to the lead. Joao is still not pitting. I don't think, maybe Joao might not get the win here, but he's still getting a very good result from a no-stop strategy. Can he hold on though? He's got to do 34 laps on tyres that will probably be begging and screaming. Half a second. Here's the gap. No moves on the cards here. Betsma and Olivier still got 5 and 4 push-to-passes available to them. Always on the back end. He's had to lock up there to avoid hitting the back end of Jens there. Gerha's got more traffic in the form of V-Volks now. This is not going to help as Jens goes wide again. V-Volks needs to be getting out of the way very soon. Per the blue flag rules. As Olivier looks on Jens, he's going to dive down the inside into 12. Oh, the door's just been left open, but they're not quite close enough there. Well, they did almost touch. And move at turn 13. 13, can you believe it? I've never seen one of those before. But Jack Olivier takes P2, and Batesman's already lost it on the outside. Batesman's going to have to dig really deep to get the win of this race. And it's given Joao a bit of breathing space. Only lost half a second on Jack that lap. So the gap is 5 seconds with 8 laps to go. We're on lap 26 of 34. Gerha has not stopped. Neither has Filson, nor Daniel Wolf, nor Robbie Kinnable, nor Matty Labiak, nor Shiny Waffles. Quite a few people trying the zero-stop strategy. As there's been a spin there, that is involved. I don't even know who that's involving, because I'm sure I turned that thing off. But that was people that were around Joao Gerha were involved in that. But everybody's got away unscathed. Bonavane is chasing down Jens Batesman. He's only 1.3 there. And Janssen's in this as well. We have 5 people in with a shot of winning this race. Who's your money on? Not long to go. My PC is struggling to contain itself. People's getting well out of the way of this titanic battle. Batesman on the push to pass, try and catch back up to Jack Olivier. Bonavane and Janssen are following suit here. 1.2 seconds gained by Jack Olivier on Joao Gerha. Fastest final sector for Jens Batesman as well, partly due to the push to pass. That's not the first time he's used the push to pass either. Through 2 and 3, super strong through 2 and 3. Jens is back in this. Jack goes wide at 3. Down towards turn 4 we go. A move could be on the cards at the end of this lap. He's got to be patient though. Be confident, be strong. Don't spin. Famous last words. Jake Feemster has spun and he's actually DNF'd. He's crashed. As Max Janssen's at the a purple first sector. He's caught right up to the back of Bonavane. 6 tenths there. 3 tenths here. Still only 3.2. Between the top 2. Gecko's running out of laps. A podium could be on the cards here if they can hold it all together as my game shits itself again. Bonavane's in trouble because he's in the 21s and no one else is. A personal best lap from Joao Gerha, 20.9. 19.5 from Jens Batesman there. That's the fastest lap of the race. And here comes the move that will give Joao more breathing space. 2.5 seconds gap to lead, but nothing between 2 and 3. Into turn 1 we go. Jens has got the inside again at turn 2. Jack keeps the lead for now. Keeps P2 for now. No chance of another push to pass, but slipstream is always available. Down the outside goes Jens Batesman towards turn number 4. Batesman's got the inside at 5. Full respect. Jack goes way off. Oh, they're going to touch. They're not quite going to touch. But they're still side by side. Filson has spun. I can't even look at that right now because they almost touched through 7. P4 and P5 are right there. There's a 4-car battle for P2 now as Jens heads down towards turn number 12. Gerha has gained 2 seconds on this lap. Gerha could win this race. Jack Olivier holding firm against Jens, who's getting a little bit squirrely. Bonavane's here. Oh, this is going to get spicy. It's lap 29 now. Gerka does a 20.9, another personal best here. 22.1, 22s for P2 and P3. Let's run on board with Bonnevane as we head down the front straight. Actually, we'll run on board with Max Janssen at the back of all of this. No positions are probably going to change hands here. Bonnevane might take a little pot shot down the inside of 1. No moves changing here. 3.5 seconds. Max Janssen loses the rear end through turn 1 and keeps it together though. There's barely anything to separate the second to fifth here. What a race this is. Purple sector for Jens Batesma. First sector, but he goes wide at turn 4. Romanesh getting well out of the way of this titanic battle. 3.1 seconds is the gap to the lead. Oh, I'm really rooting for Guerra here because a 0 stop would be insane against all this pressure from so many people behind. I didn't count him in this race. I should have done. He was P7 on the grid. And he's got a shot at winning this race. 3 seconds is the gap. Janssen starting to lose the back end of this a bit. It's still all about Olivier and Betsma. As Olivier loses the back end. Oh, Betsma has to really back out of it to avoid hitting the rear end of Olivier. He slides it through 12. Ignore that. Back on the front straight once again. Everybody goes wide at 15. Bonnevane and Janssen can only watch as these two duke it out once again down the front straight. Betsma takes P2 back from Olivier. He's got enough in him. Olivier hasn't used any push to pass here. He's only got 2 left. It's still 2.5 seconds to the lead. There's the leader just up there. That's Joao Guerra. To the outside. Olivier's going to have a look. Oh, they almost touch again. It's so close between all of them. Batesma now holds on to P2 for longer than 10 seconds. Out of turn 6 we go. We're going to have to wait to the front straight again to get another chance to look at this battle. 2.7 seconds. P1 to P2. Once Zhao's in this, he can't get out of it unless someone behind him crashes. So Zhao's got to hold on for dear life to make sure that he doesn't have to get involved in all of this. It's down to 2.3. There's a lot of people cutting track. Track limits will definitely become a factor at the end of this race. There's about half a second between 2 to 3, 3 to 4, 4 to 5. Front straight we go. 20.7 for Guerra. He's still setting personal best. This is brilliant pace from Guerra. Jack Olivier only did a 20.6 as he takes P2 back off of Jens Batesma. They're still side by side. My mouse has died, so I can't switch cameras. Now I can switch. Olivier retakes P2. 2 seconds is the leading gap. Janssen not close enough to Bonnevane yet, but that could get a little bit closer. All of the top 5 only have 1 push to pass left in these last 5 laps of this race. 4 laps of this race. 1 lap 31 of 34. It's 1.6 seconds to the lead. Joao just needs the second and third to battle a little bit harder with a little bit more time loss. And he could very easily take the win, a shock win, in this Mexican AFGP. It's entirely possible. It's now a second and a half. Grau is right there. The win is right there. For any one of this top 3, I would say now. 4 and 5 are in there, but not quite. 20.8, 19.3 for Jack Olivier. 1.5 seconds gain. That's enough for Joao to be toast at the end of this lap. 3 laps to go. But Jens is not going to make it easy. He's going to have a look at the... No, I can feel him easing off here, not passing Jack. He knows if they battle, it's over. He's got to wait. Travis lost 3/10 in that first sector. He's right there. It's under a second now. Jack is in range of passing Joao for the lead. Mike Blass meanwhile passing Popovich for P9. I'm sorry I can't look at that, but this is such a crazy battle. so tight. It's 3/10. There's going to be a move into turn 12. I'm certain of it. Here he comes. Guerra super defensive. Jack to the outside. And he's past Guerra. And Betsma's past Guerra as well. Guerra's lost 2 positions in 2 corners. He's dropped a P3. Can he hold on to a podium? Here comes Bonnevane. He's right there. He's going to get mugged. Jansen's here. He's going to pass Bonnevane first. Who's going to get to Joao first? Who's going to get that final podium position? Is it going to be Joao? Is it going to be Bonnevane? Is it going to be Max Jansen? Max Jansen waits the last possible second to move to the right-hand side. Down the front straight we go. Is Jansen going to make 2 positions in one go? He's going to look at it. He's down the inside of Joao. Almost banging wheels. Joao cuts the course to keep P3. It's not going to work though, surely. No, it is going to work. Bonnevain's going to try and retake P4 off of Max Jansen. But he's got nowhere to go. He's got Joao in the way from taking P3. Jansen has the advantage. Jansen shuts the door. He pushes Bonnevain, pushes Max Jansen out of the way. There's no holds bar between these two. Jansen keeps P4. Joao keeps his podium at this point. It's all kicking off. This is the penultimate lap of the race. The top 2 are clearing off, as we expect they would have done. Mike Blast and Nemanja are crashing into each other, coming through turn 2 and 3. In the battle for P9, switching back now to this crazy battle. Jens is right there. We're on the final lap of this race. Who's going to take the win? Shiny Waffle's in the way. Affecting this battle. Jack has got Batesma right on his rear. Down the front straight we go. Final lap of the race. Batesman's already going to the left-hand side. There's no push to pass available here for any of the top 5. Who dares wins? Jens to the left. Jack to the right. Jack's got the inside through 1. We know Jens is very defensive through turn 2 and 3. So he could keep the position through 2 and 3. He goes to the left. He's got the inside. They bang wheels through 3. Batesma goes wide. Jack retakes the lead. They're still side by side almost. No, Jens pulls us into the back of Jack. To the right hand side now. Around the outside at 4. Inside at 5 could be very advantageous here. He's still got his nose in there. They bang wheels again. Jack gets forced off again. Jens is still down the inside at 6. He's got the lead almost. Jack is still on there. Oh, I think so. Jens by nearly spinning the car. Jens is back in the lead. They both go off track. They're both cutting the track. They're both getting disqualified, surely. Jens Batesma has the lead of this race. Jack's got a good one out of 10. Is he going to make a move? Into 12. Into the outside. Round the outside he goes. Oh, he almost collided with Jens Batesma. Jack takes the lead. He goes defensive on Jens. That should be enough. Unless Jens can pull something crazy at 15. He's close enough to do it. He looks for it. He does. He's done inside. Jens is going to take the win in Mexico. Jens Batesma wins in Mexico City. Wow. Last corner. Last lap. Wins. Unbelievable. Max Jansen finishes 3rd. Bonnevane 4th. Guerra in 5th place. One of the best races of AF1 I have ever seen. And it's not over yet, because there will be track limits getting involved with this as well. Jens Batesma wins provisionally in Mexico City. Jack Olivier 2nd. Oh, man. Can I breathe yet? Bertrand will finish 6th. Philip Bauer finishes 7th. Daniel Wolf 8th. Mike Blast 9th. Nemanja Popovic 10th. Pingu Quinn 11th. Robbie Kinnable 12th. Riley 13th. With quite a quiet race, to be honest. Labiak 14th. Ruben Andrade should finish 15th. There might be a change of positions here. No, there's not going to be. Labiak will take 14th. Andrade 15th. Gutierrez will take home 16th. Vivol 17th. Rapidi 18th. Weber 19th. Shiny Waffles 20th. Then Cameron and Nesh. And we have retirements from Feemster, Mythic, and Imran Shaikh. That was absolutely crazy. Abu Dhabi 2021, eat your heart out. So many position changes for the lead on the final lap. They were side by side for about 80% of it. The question is, how much of an effect a track limit's going to have? We wait to find out. I will let you know as soon as we get the results. But I'll give him a minute, I think, to just breathe after all of that and chat with everybody else before I bring them in. But this has put a bit of a damper on Jacques Olivier's attempts to win the Season 9 title. He won Season 6, he won Season 7, Jens got Season 8. But with Jens winning this race, the gap actually increases by 25-20, by 5 points at least, rather than it being reduced by 5 points as Jack would need to keep him in the championship fight. But there's still plenty of races to go. We've got 5 more rounds to go, as I said at the top of the stream. Be sure to join us next week. You've got to join us next week for the Singapore AFGP from Marina Bay. Then we go to Imola on the 23rd of January. We take a week break after that. It's Monza on the 6th of February, Silverstone on the 13th, and Suzuka on the 20th to round out what is, I'm calling it now. It's only round 3, but I'm definitely calling it the best season of AF1 ever. Can we get the results, please? Yes, we can. And somebody decided to turn off the track limits. So nobody gets any penalties. Really? Really? Who do I need to kill? But there we have it. So that is confirmed. Pending penalties, because Jack and Jens did come together a couple of times. By 600th of a second, Jens Beitzma wins the Mexico AFGP over Jacques Olivier. Max Janssen ended up finishing less than a second behind the top 2. So keep an eye out for him taking his second win of the season after penalties. Bonavane finishes 4th, about 5 seconds back. Joao Guerra 5th. That's your top 5. So let's bring in the top 3. Jens Beitzma and Jacques Olivier and Max Janssen. If my mouse will work. Jens, Jack, Mex, thank you for destroying my voice. Congratulations on the podium today on what is, I've said it already, the best AF1 race I've ever seen. And some people in the chat are saying it's the best AF1 race of the year, easily. Let's start with you, Jens. I'm speechless.
I'm as well.
Let's just talk through the last lap.
Well, I have to thank Shiny. He gave me the opportunity because Jack was faster. It was like a non-influenced lap. He would probably be like 3 times faster each lap. But I got kind of lucky with all the traffic and that he was in front. He basically created the path for me to lap the blue flags. But in the end, last corner, I just risked it. Probably won't work out with penalties, but it was fun.
That was incredibly fun. That was incredibly fun. On to you, Jack. Were you worried at all by Joao's strategy calls?
Well, I didn't expect someone to do it. So, like, when I kind of realized that after lap like 20 that he was still ahead, I was thinking, yeah, he probably can do it, because I was thinking about it before pitting, because my tires were only on like 90%. So at first I wasn't, because we were catching up a lot, but then we started battling a lot with Jens and the other guys behind. So we were losing time to him. So at some point, yeah, and then Jens made the smart call to like not battle with me anymore until we catch him up. So eventually we did catch him up, and yeah, it did got me worried for a bit. But yeah, I knew we were faster. So if we played it smart with Jens, I knew we would catch him up.
Do you think today's race has put a bit of a damper on your chances of winning the Season 9 title now that you've been beaten by the championship leader?
Well,
you will get the win.
I'll see what I'll do. But yeah, in the last corner, he kind of bumped me and it pushed me wide, so he got the win. But like
It was a touring car move. It was a Formula car move.
basically, I don't really. The championship is not the main thing I'm worried about. It's like this race was super fun because I had like a battle for 20 laps with Jens, which was great. Then a battle with other guys at the front. And that's what I enjoy the most about the league. So yeah, I'm more focused on that, which was great. So yeah.
Yeah, more people. The more people at the front, the better. And we certainly had
Yeah.
5 today, I would say, that were in the front. And finally, to you, Mex Janssen, congratulations on another podium. That's your 3rd in a row, same as Jens. What were you thinking going watching Jens and Jack battle? Do you think you had any shot? What was your strategy there?
Yeah, I was doubting. I was pretty far behind. I guess like 1.5 seconds. But then I saw them fighting on the last lap, and I still had to overtake. I believe it was Joao. First, I didn't realize I had to overtake him as well. I thought he was just 10 seconds up the road of Jens and Jack. But then I saw that he massively dropped back, I guess because of the tire wear. And also Bonnevein, I just overtook him. He was also close behind. So I was looking in the mirror more than looking ahead, so to say. Yeah, I should probably watch the battle back from hearing of you guys.
Might take a while. There's a lot of it. Finally, your pit stop. You did stop 1 lap later than the rest of the leaders. What happened on your in lap?
Was it on stream?
No,
Oh, okay.
it wasn't
I'm
actually. So
glad.
do tell
I'm
us.
glad. Oh yeah, otherwise my career will be ruined. No. Yeah, I don't know what happened. I saw them coming into the pits. It was just first of all, Jack and Jens crashed on the last corner. Then I saw them going into the pits. Then I saw Bonnevein going into the pits. So I thought, I should probably pit next lap. I really didn't have a strategy for this race. My point, I think, was just do a 0 stop like Joao. But eventually I think I changed my plans. And yeah, then the in lap, the 2 moments. I think turn 4 was it? Turn 4 and 6. I
Over the
spun
top
coming out of
section.
6, and out of 4 I had a massive moment. So I believe I lost 2 seconds there. So that was pretty stupid. No, it was in the stadium section. There I spun and I almost lost the car on turn 6. I think I lost more time, 3 seconds, but I still made it up in the end. But yeah, good race. Didn't lose too many points. So yeah, glad with the result.
Yeah, you're definitely still in this fight for the title. Thank you very much, all 3 of you. It's been amazing to watch you, and I can't wait for next week. And that's it for this week in AF. We've got the Stewards stream tomorrow, of course, Monday at 7 p.m. UTC. That is, and that'll be it. We'll be discussing AF3 and AF2 and AF1. All 3 will surely have some penalties to consider. Then next week in AF, we've got AF3 round 2 at Dubai Autodrome. First round of that was really cool, so the second round should be just as good, if not better, considering it's a permanent track this time. AF4 returns for season 11 next week. The first round of that will be at Magione in the Radical SR3. If you haven't signed up, go do it. Well, we actually need to sort that out, I think, but yeah, go and sign up for AF4. It's just a button. If you've got the role, you go for it. You've got nothing to lose, and it's a bit of fun on a Saturday afternoon. That will start at 3 p.m. UTC on Saturday. There's also the exhibition for those who aren't eligible for AF4 to compete with all those that are eligible for AF4 in a non-championship environment. That starts at 2:15 UTC on Saturday. We also have the first round of AFX Season 3, and I can't wait for this one as well. This is going to be so good. It's a return to one of my favourite combos in AF. A throwback to AF Asia Season 2's first round. We're doing it all over again. Bahrain in the Porsche 911 GT3 Cup 2017. That's a Kunos car as well. I don't think there's any sign up. You should be sure to sign up for reserves, but if you can't race in it, certainly come and watch. That's at 6 p.m. UTC on Saturday night. I should definitely be trying to stream that. And on, of course, AF1 returns next Sunday for the Drivers' Vote track, Marina Bay Street Circuit, Singapore AFGP. That's the same time next Sunday, 16th of January, 6 o'clock UTC in the evening. Weeklies will be announced as well during the week. We've got a new AF2 event coming up soon. The first one of those will be, it was announced yesterday after AF2, rather quietly. There should be an official announcement coming soon. It is, we're going to Daytona. 2 hours 40 at Daytona, same as the IMSA race, same as an IMSA race length at least. With the Daytona DPIs and the GT3s as well. More information will be revealed soon, but that's 29th of January. Sign-ups will be open that very soon. I think that's everything actually. We've got specials coming up soon. Keep an eye out for plenty going on. We've got loads going on AF coming up. It's all looking pretty damn good in 2022. So until tomorrow, it's goodbye from me, and we'll see you tomorrow. I said that twice.